turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, move it down. This the time we move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for no gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit. What's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on. That's the time. Guarantee we move. You know how we respond. The state design. The state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. We are wishing you guys a very Merry Christmas. Hope you had a great holiday. New Year's coming, so we hope you guys enjoy. But tonight, I brought back Matt Andrews from MPX. It's all going down this Saturday. The setup for Texas Rumble is we're now on the road to the Texas Rumble at MPX, and we got this Saturday Lethal Lottery coming up, and I wanted to talk about it with him. Welcome back to the show, sir. How are you doing?
What's going on? Hey, it's a pleasure to talk to you and to all the MPX addicts and any North Texas wrestling fans out there. Certainly the road to the Rumble, a massive start to a phenomenal new year in North Texas wrestling. Super excited about it. The Texas Rumble, one of the biggest ones that's held in the state. So very excited for the road to start this Saturday.
Absolutely. And we've already seen Metroplex Wrestling has already put out some clips. Talk to me about what's going on this Saturday and how that's going to impact what's going at Texas Rumble.
Yeah, a phenomenal concept here. Lethal Lottery, 16 competitors, 8 of them drew names out of a hat or a box. I'm not sure what it was that Cody was holding, but 8 of them drew randomly selected names, and those will be their tag team partners in randomly paired matches this Saturday. The winners of those 4 tag team matches are going to go on to the end of the night to do an over-the-top rope battle royale to determine who is entering at number 30 in the Texas Rumble on January 25th from the Lively Point Youth Center in Irving, Texas.
Right. So this is all high stakes all night, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, think about, first of all, you got to think about the whole idea of double duty, right? These competitors are going to go through grueling tag team matches to get just a chance to be selected for being number 30 in the Texas Rumble before they have to go on to that battle royale at the end of the night.
Right. And looking at the drawings, a lot of these guys have history with each other. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's start, if we're going to start talking pairings, let's start with the ones that have some bad blood among them.
Oh, yes.
And we saw it right off the bat. The very first pairing, the Cowabunga Kid Adam Green selected Man as his randomly selected partner. Man and TJ Slater just faced Adam Green and Tatum Manning not too long ago at Deep State. And so you know that Adam Green has his troubles with the set 6. And so he's been saying on social media that he's willing to put the differences aside. Of course, you know that the stakes are super high going on to try to determine who's number 30 in the Battle Royal.
Right. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention this because this past event, Cold Day in Hell, we saw a shift at MPX. Demo Diamond, he lost his championship to Kari Wright. What is in store for Demo going forward?
That's a phenomenal question and a great way to sidetrack it here because of because of the implications here with the Texas Rumble. Everything was going to be geared towards the winner of the Texas Rumble, obviously getting an MPX championship match. But now that's no longer against Demo Diamond. And we were talking about the set 6, and Man was part of that whole thing. Kari Wright had to defeat 3 random members of set 6 in order to get a championship match at Demo Diamond, and Kari defeated all of them. And so, what confidence level does Man have going into this, knowing that he's essentially failed at his job for about the past month?
Right. So many implications on this whole night. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going out of that. Is there anything else going on Saturday that is going to impact anything else other than, or is it just these matches?
No, so far the another match was just announced yesterday, actually on Christmas, and what a treat for the Addicts. Kari Wright is going to make his first MPX championship defense, and he's going to go up against one half of the MPX tag team champions, the Scorn, and going up against Mad
Oh,
Tommy Prince.
wow. Tommy Prince is getting a shot at Kari's title right off the
Yeah,
bat.
yeah. Prince is going to go for being Tommy Two Belts once again. You know, Prince, a former Addicts champion in and of himself,
Hmm.
also a very skilled competitor in the ring. I think these two styles are going to match up really well. Kari, of course, I've mentioned, the smoothest competitor in all of Texas wrestling, and Tommy Prince has that martial arts background that you wouldn't necessarily know from looking at him, but he's a very educated and very skilled person inside of that ring.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of that, so his other half, Gabe, was in there with Matt Palmer last weekend. Any
Yeah.
update on the outcome of that? Because it seems like that's not finished.
No, it doesn't seem like that's finished at all. Don't know what the fallout is going to end up being from that. We all know that Matthew Palmer has been going through a bit of a rough time, just in the entire world of wrestling. But has come back to MPX maybe to ground himself. You know, he's gone through a bit of an identity crisis over this past year, and seems to be a little on the unhinged side when it comes to being in wrestling. But I think MPX is a great place for him to ground himself and come back home, and we'll see what happens as a result of that matchup from this past Saturday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We talked about the pairings of rivals. Let's talk about Cavens and Michael Schaefer, the big kahuna. Cavens, of course, has had his problems with House Sagan,
Yep.
and now he's got to team up with the largest member of House Sagan and Michael Schaefer. And you saw during the drawing, Schaefer was none too pleased about having Cavens selected as his tag team partner.
Absolutely. Speaking, let's go to House Sagan real quick because there, again, another shift there. So
Sure.
we got Red is back, but he's
Yeah.
out of House Sagan, and Kaimi is in House Sagan. What's going on there?
Yeah, it seems to be an interesting prospect there. I think Coach Nick Caldwell kind of saw the writing on the wall there, wasn't having much success in guiding Kaimi towards any sort of winning streak. You know, we saw him lose two times in one night. We saw Kaimi lose the pre show match against Super Cop Turbo and also lose in the same night to Shay Carmichael. Definitely a very ego deflating loss. And I think Coach Caldwell understands that House Sagan is probably the best chance for Kaimi to get on a winning streak here.
Absolutely. And we also had Sky, his pairing. He wasn't too
Oh yeah,
pleased about that either.
Sky De La Cremoso should be. I believe he's teaming with Riley Grin, right?
Right.
Um, yeah. So one half of Divinium. I don't think it's. I mean, it's probably not like the ideal pairing, especially given that you know his close friends Tommy Dean and Wesley Crane are paired off elsewhere as well. But you know, Riley is a student of Tommy and Wesley, and so I think the so to speak, the children of excessive violence there shouldn't be a terrible pairing for Sky. But it's an interesting matchup as their Sky and Riley are going up against a team that has some problems as well, and Paulie Paparazzi and TJ Slater.
Right.
And
And
Paparazzi, of
there's a
course,
lot of
having
trust
his
issues
problems
there.
there. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. We saw Paulie coming out to kind of put House Sagan in their place, but also House Sagan, along with Set Six, had a place two shows ago, and Paulie was not too pleased at all. Didn't say a word. As soon as he saw TJ Slater's name, he walked off camera.
Yep.
Definitely some high emotions there, and Paulie's trying to find his way a little bit too. Have coming off of a six-man tag match with Mikey B and Big J, and seeing all of that go down where Big
Yep.
J reunited with Red. I mean, there was a lot coming out of that six-man tag.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say it seems like Paulie is kind of finding himself on an island by himself right now and trying to find his way. It's gonna be interesting to see how he navigates going forward.
Well, it is, and I mean, Paulie fancies himself to be a people of the addicts, but I mean, that's kind of the risk he ran when he kind of left Mikey B and Big J over there.
Hmm.
He wanted to be an island unto himself. He wanted to be just Paulie. You know, so we've seen him with new music, with new gear. He's trying to find his way again, and you know, maybe this is the start of something for him. but he's still a fan favorite, that's for sure. The addicts love him,
Absolutely.
and I think he'll be fine on his own. But it's just gonna be an interesting tag team match that he goes through this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of history and a lot of unresolved issues between a lot of these tag teams. So it's going to be interesting to see who can coexist
Yeah,
and who can make this work for them. Because
sure.
ultimately, the biggest prize is you have the biggest advantage at the Texas Rumble. Who's going to be
Yep.
able to put aside those issues and make these things work? But also on the flip side of that, your tag teams, but all this bad blood, you have to coexist for the betterment of yourself, but then it then becomes an individual game because only one person can have that number 30.
Yeah, absolutely. Alliances get thrown out of the window as soon as that bell rings for the 3 count at
Absolutely.
the end of a tag team match. But I do want to talk about some almost dream matchups that we're going to see as well in the
Mm,
tag teams here. First of all, we're going to talk about two former MPX champions. The self-proclaimed Satan Wesley Crane will team with Tatum Manning, 1 in a million, and both have been pretty vocal about it on
mm.
social media. Crane saying outwardly he does not like this pairing, and Manning just, I mean, Manning is, I feel like he's kind of preoccupied with being almost the MPX Avenger. You know, like
Yeah.
he's playing Boondock Saints. Trying to rid MPX of all the evil doing that's going on, whether that's House Sagan, whether that's Set Six, whether that's the new gods, Hester and Hostage Hirsch. I mean, Manning has his hands in a whole lot of different pots, but he's got to focus and tag with Wesley Crane, a former rival, but
Hmm.
somebody I'm sure there has to be a lot of respect between those two, not just being former MPX champions, but also, just the history that these guys have had in Texas wrestling in general.
Right. Exactly. And again, history, rivalry, but you have to put that aside. That another example of that.
Yeah, and let's talk about the other kind of almost dream team matchup here with no history behind it, but definitely two consummate professionals. Both have remained somewhat quiet on social media about it, but that kind of plays to their character, right? We're talking about the one true final boss, former MPX champion Exodus Prime, teaming with the current MPX women's champion, the Alaskan assassin Angela Armstrong. What a matchup that is. Those two pairing off together. You want to talk about professionals in every sense of the word. Both have been up and down the road for so long. Angela, of course, a
Yep.
16-year pro, current MPX women's champion with a lot of history to be made on the line here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having the MPX women's champion and the MPX champion be the same person?
That would be amazing. That
Talk
would be
about
amazing.
talk about the king of the mountain right there, king queen of the mountain, as
Absolutely.
it were. Angela is taking to social media saying that, like, in a very professional sense, they got a job to do. They've got to go in and get their get their spot at the Texas Rumble. And Exodus won't say much about it, and that's okay because it's Exodus Prime. He comes in, he
Right.
does his job. That's what
Right.
he does.
Right. I was going to say he doesn't really need to say much. He goes in, he gets it done. That's a guy that you can count on getting it done.
Right, and I think that's, I mean, it's against Adam Green and Man, two people that aren't going to have very much success teaming together. But Exodus and Angela haven't teamed together before. It's kind of an
Right.
interesting dynamic. I'm sure Exodus isn't used to teaming with a woman, and Angela has done intergender matches, teamed with guys, been with women. She's gone all over the place, but it'd be interesting to see how this pairing matches up here. Um, and we've got one more tag team set to talk about here. Mikey B teaming with Tommy Dean, also of Parabellum, there, former MPX tag team champions there, and they're going up against the Addicts champion Dave Sagan and Titan Yin of Divinium. A little history between Sagan and Titan. If I
Yeah,
recall
exactly.
correctly, when Dave Sagan came back to MPX with this whole step into the sun mentality, it was Titan Yin that he defeated first. In his return match there, and Titan Yin has
Right.
been on a roll lately. Obviously, losing against the Scorn this past Saturday at Cold Day in Hell, but Divinium has definitely quickly caught fire with the Addicts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Titan just posted something earlier thanking the addicts because they couldn't have done it without the addicts. So they're clearly a crowd favorite right now.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic pairs with Sagan, who is coming off of a very cultish uproar in his faction there. Obviously, like you mentioned earlier, kicking out Sonny, now Red again, Chambers, and bringing in Kaimi, wondering if those two might play a factor in the outcome of this match.
That is a very interesting thought because it could happen. That definitely can happen. And I gotta say, how Sagan is actually looking kind of dangerous right now.
Oh yeah, well, bringing on the hard-headed Hawaiian was a really good move. I mean, not just for
Absolutely.
Kaimi, but also for House Sagan. Kaimi's getting traction real fast in the Texas wrestling world, making
Yep.
appearances at Reality of Wrestling. I mean, this is a great key for House Sagan to get into more mainstream stuff into Texas wrestling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that team right now in its current form looks like it's primed and ready to do exactly just that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they coexist in the Rumble, no matter who gets the number 30 spot as a result of this this Saturday event. But how Sagan in general in that Rumble is going to be a force to contend with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this Saturday is gonna go down 8 p.m. Central. What do we have on the early events? On the early
Not
access?
determined as of yet, but the last Saturday's early access show was the MPX Women's Championship match.
I
So
know.
don't miss your opportunities. There's a flash sale going on right now. Day after Christmas, Metroplex Wrestling has just put out that general admission tickets are 25% off. Early access edition is just $5 extra to get one extra match. If you love Texas wrestling and you love to see what's up and coming at MPX, you want to get that early access match and come
Yeah,
in a little bit early.
absolutely. Because that match, Angela versus Maya World, was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's two women that have a whole lot of history. And it's interesting as
Absolutely.
well to see where, what's next for the MPX Women's Champion. Angela Armstrong has been undefeated since changing her name to the Alaskan Assassin. And she's toppled so many different competitors: Leva Bates, Nova
Yep.
Phoenix, Ray Lynn, Maya World, you name it, she's beat them. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what ends up coming next for the MPX Women's Champion.
Absolute. That is, you just mentioned an impressive resume. That is impressive.
Yeah, she's come
Very
in, she's
impressive
done her
resume.
job. She's been one of the most dominant champions that we've seen at MPX this whole year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be I want to see more of her. Way
Yeah,
more of
so do
her.
I.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're looking forward to it this Saturday. MPX presents Lethal Lottery. You've got 8 randomly selected tag teams, and the winners of those tag teams go on to the end of the night for an over-the-top row battle royal to determine the number 30 spot at the Texas Rumble. So we'll see you guys there this Saturday, 8 o'clock. The
Absolutely.
first bell. Doors open at 7:30, unless you got that early access, and then they open at 7:15. Hoping to see
Absolutely.
all of you addicts out there.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's gonna do it for us here tonight, man. What do you think?
Sure. Love it. Quick little preview podcast. I'm sure we're going to have some stuff to react to next week.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure we will. I know
Yeah.
this night is gonna this has fireworks written all over it. So
Definitely.
I'm more than willing to come back and talk about the aftermath of this one next week.
For sure. Hey, and you know what? Until then, though, I'm going to say Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, my friend. Same to you.
Yeah. Love it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, you guys be easy. Peace.
See you later.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks, gimmicks.